It's 8:29 at KWBE, and it's time now for our Ask the Mayor program on KWBE, the program that comes to you every Thursday morning as Beatrice Mayor Bob Morgan stops into our studios to keep us up to date on what's happening with city issues for the day. Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Dave. How are you?
Doing well. Nice morning for us.
Once again.
Did you hit the golf course yet?
Not this morning.
Not
but
this morning, huh?
A couple of times this week, yes.
The weather, since that rain on Monday, yeah, things have been kind of just slowly warming up here for us.
It has. Yards will continue to grow for a while, and we'll just keep pushing off those snow days.
There you go. Yeah, every day of sunshine or whatever and 80-degree temps is one less snow time day, right?
That's exactly right.
That's right. We have a shortened mayor program this morning. The mayor has some mayoral duties coming up at 9, so we're going to let him skip out a little bit early. So It's one of those things where you have things to do. You've been invited to speak a little bit, and so we'll let you get on your way here.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll pack as much as we can into these 15 minutes.
All right. We will do just that. One of the things I just want to touch on, last Thursday when you were here, you were talking about how at Monday night's city council meeting, you were going to have some special guests come in, and those folks were here from D.C., weren't they?
They were. Merchant McIntyre, which is a group that we hired 2 years ago now to help us with grants from the federal government level. It was their first trip here. However, I appreciate them coming out. It helps them understand, I think, a little bit more about the city of Beatrice and the areas that they can help. You know, you might ask, well, why do you hire somebody to write your grants for you at the federal level? There are so many technicalities at the federal level. If you miss one or two little items or a checkbox or it's not worded quite correctly, they have maybe 1,000 applicants for that grant. And so the first thing they do is they go down the checklist to make sure that you've answered all of their questions and answered them in the right way. That's pretty tough to do. That's a special talent, and that's partly what these folks do. The other thing is that they are based in Washington, D.C., so they do also then have access to a number of, they're really not lobbyists per se, but they have access to, for instance, the Nebraska delegation being there. So if things are going a little bit slower, they can kind of reach out to one of our senators and congressmen and discuss the issue. Or more importantly, they can reach out to one of the aides of the congressmen and the senators, because typically the aides work with the other aides and get a lot of good things done. That's kind of one of their roles and brings the important issues to, as you can imagine, our delegation, because they certainly have their hands full right now, but they do have their hands full. We were really, what I liked about them and what I like about their approach, first of all, it's a partnership. They certainly put some requirements on us to do our due diligence and to put all of the facts and figures that we have in writing to get to them. And so it's not like they come in and just take over. If we aren't an active partner in this firm, if we're not an active partner with them, then they really want to move on to a community or to a county or to a state that is. And so it is really a true partnership. The other thing that I think that I see out of them is there's any given week, you wouldn't believe how many grants are put out there. They will tell you up front, these grants won't work for you. Don't waste your time. These grants will work for you, and I think you can do it at the local level. These grants we have a shot at, and we're going to dedicate our time for Beatrice on these grants that we have an opportunity to. If we know that the grant has a 30% chance or less of getting funded for you, then it's really not worth our time or your time and money. And so they're really honest, they're upfront, and I just appreciate their working relationship. And it was really a great opportunity for them at best just to meet us. And then they did, walk the downtown. And then they did have the opportunity to go through Dempster's, because one of the things that we're going to have them and we're working on is a brownfield grant that could possibly help us tear down a significant part of Dempster's. Now, again, it's competitive. It doesn't mean we're going to get $4 million to do it, but we're going to put our best foot forward with their partnership and help to try to get $4 million to tear down Dempster's.
Being able to, see that Dempster facility or walk through it really gives them that, I guess when they get ready to write those grants, they really know what they're talking about. I mean, they've seen it firsthand.
That's right. It helps them focus that narrative on exactly what we have.
Did they come in Sunday night already, or did they come in Monday, or what?
They flew in Sunday, and then we met pretty much all day with them. We started, I think, at 9:30 in the morning with them. Councilman Doyle, who's the chair of the downtown committee, then took them on a tour of downtown after we'd met, and then Councilman Fairbanks, who's the head of the Dempster committee, took them through the Dempster's building, and then they just kind of went around and looked at the other things that the city had. So, and then they had the opportunity to talk with us at City Council that night, and I think all in all, everybody feels very comfortable with the company that we hired.
Sounds like a good visit then.
It was a great visit.
Great visit for you. Anytime, did they mention they would be coming back sometime, maybe in about 6 months or anything, or any timeline that they'd want to come back or not?
We didn't really talk about them coming back in any certain timeline. This one worked out very well because the government's in shutdown.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they spend most of their time either really writing the grants or networking to help you get the grants. So most of their time needs to be spent in Washington.
Okay. All right. Well, glad they enjoyed their visit and was able to see, again, firsthand what they're writing about.
Absolutely.
So, very valuable.
Yep.
With that meeting on Monday, let's talk a little bit about some bonds that were approved. I know you kind of wanted to give folks a little more explanation to hear what the council did on Monday.
Sure. The bonds are called Conduit Bonds, and they were to help a residential hall building at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And basically, Conduit Bonds are bonds that they use a city or a county to help them get the bonds. We are not responsible for the payment of those bonds in any way, shape, or form, but it does help them. I would say it's more of a sponsorship to get those bonds. And when they came to us, we were in a place where we could help them. Actually, our bond counsel that we work with on a continuing basis said, hey, I think these guys can help you. And for us as the city of Beatrice, I think we've got three things that are in writing that I know we're going to get. We're going to get approximately $60,000 through the bond process as the conduit sponsor. We're going to get a 2% or 2 points on the amount of the loan, which I think it's $7,500 a year, what I heard. I can't calculate that because I'm not smart enough. And then I think the third one, and it helps bring that connection to Beatrice and Gage County, is since it's a residential hall, what we said is, it's a stretch to tie that in maybe. And I'll tell you in a minute why it's not quite that big a stretch, but we then asked for 4 scholarships for housing for the year from people who are from Gage County or Beatrice. So somebody going to the University of Nebraska, our hope is they cannot maybe afford that housing. So they'll have the opportunity to compete for one of those 4 spots.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's nice. And then, some people also said, well, what's the other carrot or catch? Well, the University of Nebraska is our landmark institution. Mm-hmm. And so they are there for more than just the city of Lincoln or Lancaster County. And we know we have a number of students from Gage County that go to the University of Nebraska. And if you think about it, if they go to the University of Nebraska and they graduate with their bachelor's degree, or maybe they even go on to get a master's degree, or even more desirable, maybe they become a doctor. And they say, you know what, I want to come back to the city of Beatrice, and I want to work for Beatrice Hospital. So not only do we have the ties of the 4 scholarships, we have a great connection to get people educated that can come back and really serve the city of Beatrice. And so I think that abstract connection is worth a lot in itself. Mm-hmm. So
those scholarships would be available next year already? Or?
Probably next year, yeah. And I think they are for the life of the loan. So it's not just 4 scholarships for 1 year. It's for the duration of that loan. we'll publicize, I'm sure, what how to do that or the competitiveness of it. I don't think that's been decided because we're just kind of at that infancy stage right now.
So since that Monday night meeting, have you been approached by this topic by some folks saying, explain this a little bit more?
I haven't.
Okay.
I just felt it was worth explaining because I think in some respects there may be some people who don't quite understand that connection. And I just wanted to be upfront and clear that there are some connections there that really made this a worthwhile venture.
Okay. All right. Anything else on that topic?
No, not really.
I know 19th Street is closed.
Yes.
There's a part that we got closed right now. We're getting some things done. Storm sewer for Heritage Heights, aren't we?
That is correct. We hope to get all that done when we had 19th Street closed a while ago, and then there's some things you just don't get done. I think what is about a week or 2 weeks is what we're hoping and get it done. Heritage Heights is moving along quite well. They've got to get that sewer in, so then we can follow up with our guys to do the water. And I don't know if anybody has driven by Corral Crossing. We have some streets poured.
Oh, I have not seen that.
Yes,
okay.
I think there's one street and one cul-de-sac that are pretty much done. Now, the rain's not helping us on Monday, but yeah, they're taking shape, and it's kind of exciting to see that. And the question that I've had is, when are the lots going to be available for sale? And I think we've talked about that last week, that we really need to get them in and find out what we have in the cost to figure out what it is per square foot, and then the square foot for each lot will help drive that price.
Okay. Remind me again, how many lots are we looking at each location?
Approximately 20.
About 20.
So it'll be added 40 lots. And the other thing that we did on Monday night, we had the opportunity from a trust to purchase 4 more lots near out there closer to Hannibal Park, and for $15,000 we did buy those 4 lots. And so basically 2020 and 4 is we got about 44 lots now available for new construction.
If you haven't, driven out by the Hannibal Park area, that's really growing.
It is. It really is.
It really is growing.
And I think what's a great example of that is, that building area really has been in existence for 10, 12 years. And sometimes it just takes that long. But right now, it's getting pretty full. And it's a nice addition to the city of Beatrice.
Things moving along on all these projects.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. I think, of course, our city administrator, Tobias, has been a strong driving force. And, I think the city council and myself have really been working hard to bring a lot of things that will help, as I've always said, the future of Beatrice. Maybe not today, but 10 years from now.
All righty. As we get ready to wind things down, I did want to mention it was brought to my attention on last Thursday. I think it was last Thursday, that we brought up the clock on 5th Street not working.
Yes.
And it was like the next day it was on time. So someone says, thanks to your mayor's show. I don't know if that was it or not.
Well, I will tell you that whoever's in charge of that got it fixed without any involvement from the mayor.
Is that right?
So thank you, whoever that was.
Yeah. Someone says, boy, you guys are efficient on that mayor's show. We mentioned it, and the next day it's on time. So
that's wonderful.
I just had to bring that up. So it was brought to my attention because I noticed it too on Friday. I'm like, well, it's working. It's on time. I thought, wow.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, we're fortunate. Thank you. I'm glad it works.
It does work. At least last time I saw it was on time. All right. Anything else for us this morning before we let you get on your way to your other duties for the day?
I don't think so. We will keep moving forward and doing the best we can.
And again, if folks ever have questions, they can always give us a call or submit questions, and we can get those passed along. We'll see you again next week at the same time, and enjoy your day and enjoy this weather then.
I will do that. You too.
All right. Beatrice Mayor Bob Morgan with us this morning on Ask the Mayor on KWBE.